your journey is going to take you to many places. What do you see?
Is that right? And for what? Because I spoke my mind? Did I assault anybody? Did I move toward anybody? You know, I didn't have time to deal with that buzzard right then. But government should be open and for the people and responsive to the people. And that in the sense that at least that's what our founding fathers said. We are the government. We elected them. Therefore, they're supposed to be responsible to us. And we're going to praise them. I do praise people sometimes. We're supposed to praise them when we feel it's appropriate.
You know, this is history in the making. So, and in the same breath, Kelly Ayotte, our new senator, our senator-elect,
right.
It seems who was previously the Attorney General.
Correct.
So should probably be aware of the legalities with preventing press the right to know and to seek information for public use, as well
that were cover-ups by the Ayotte administration. If we recall, Kelly Ayotte closed this double homicide in 24 hours when a multiple felon named Gregory Floyd shot and killed Liko Kenney. After Liko Kenney had shot Bruce McKay, Corporal Bruce McKay, as he was in the process of violating known protocol for pursuit and OC spray up there in Franconia a few years ago. But I digress. Let's come back to the general problem that Kelly Ayotte has with right to know. She's horrible. As we know, she destroyed the emails, or attempted to destroy the emails. Yes, you did attempt to destroy those emails, and to compound matters, your campaign manager, Jeff Grapponi, said that the whole issue was an election year stunt, as if it didn't matter. Well, the jig is up. I told McLeod, I told Casey Sherman, told Joe Biden, told Jack Middleton and you. God, you look hit. Anyway, now for our feature presentation. It's Kelly Ayotte's hero, Pretty Boy Floyd. He's large and in charge. Check your files, Mike. You know you've got enough to get him for murder. Well, we're here with KingCast.net, and this evening we're going to discuss statements against penal interest. For you lay people out there, it basically means that if you say something that is so far contrary to your best interests that it must be true, then it can be used against you in a court of law. Now, what's interesting is that Gregory Floyd definitely did that about 2 years ago. On April 15th, 2008, I said to him, "You murdered Liko Kenney, dude." And he said, "Yeah." So that's kind of a statement against penal interest. I mean, if you're already being accused of murder and you've just been convicted of a violent crime against your elderly female neighbor, such as criminal threats with a gun, and then someone says you murdered someone else and then you say, "Yeah," that's arguably, at least, a statement against penal interest. Now, what's interesting about all this is that this fracas that Gregory Floyd was involved in has been removed from the internet by and large. The major media taken it down. And I don't know why they did that, but it's down. And that's the question I ask, as you can see in today's post. That's a picture of Greg Floyd I took when he was being forcibly restrained against the elevator doors. That's the picture that Casey Sherman took after Brad Whipple and I took him to see Liko's car, in which he states that the author was taken here by Chris King and Brad Whipple, two men who refused to let this case die. There on that same day, I'm seen speaking with Mr. Sherman, and then there's the Floyd family coming in there on the left. Floyd's about to flip a cigarello at me. He's got a scowl on his face there, anyway. And then there's yours truly capturing some of the action while someone captures me capturing the action. And then there, Greg Floyd is lunging at me with that cane. There's another picture I have where I'm, in front of him and he's doing his thing. So anyway, without further ado, I am going to record the ripped version that still remains on Live Leak. I'm going to record that now so I have it preserved for the record. At least I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, come on now. And here it starts.
Don't even try.
what? Because I spoke my mind? Did I assault anybody? Did I move toward anybody? I didn't have time to deal with that buzzard right then. But he's wrong. I had every right to say what I had to say, and that's it. But see, you got to pick your battles. And the larger battle is the battle against Kelly Ayotte and her people, the GOP, from thinking they can keep me out of these, campaign events that are publicly advertised, held on commercial property, subject to extensive licensing and permitting by state and local authorities. That's the issue there. NAACP versus Thompson says they can't do it. Their cited case of K versus Democratic Party in New Hampshire is not on point because Mr. K wanted to take to the podium. I wanted to observe and report news, and you can do that. So we're going to go to SCOTUS, and we're going to see what pans out here, because it's going to get interesting. Kelly Ayotte, she was brazen enough to say that Justice Elena Kagan wasn't qualified to sit on the bench. Well, guess what, Kelly? I don't think you're qualified to be a U.S. Senator either. So, let's mix it up. See you in court. And you see, Kelly, the reason why your hero, Gregory Floyd, can't get a lawyer right now is because lawyers are watching my blog and other sources, and they figured out that you lied about so many things. You lied about where Gregory Floyd started shooting. You lied about his background. All of these things are clearly shown in your own so-called investigative files. The placement of the spent casings, the windshield bullet that was shot initially, all of these things you lied about. And you shouldn't be a U.S. Senator. He told them, look, watch it, son, I'm quicker than you. So here's Gregory Floyd there. He, no handcuffs, no nothing. Everybody's just kind of standing around chilling. No big deal. They take this guy's word for everything. So he's clearly in charge. He ends up going home with one of Liko Kenney's live rounds in his pocket. Some apprehension for their life. Could be manslaughter, could be self-defense. But the government doesn't want to tell you any of that. All right, they got to make Liko a cold-blooded cop killer. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, and then you see the same thing that Gregory Floyd has to be the hero. All right, and that's it. That's the story. Which brings me to Bill Christie. Who is this guy, and what's his program? Well, basically, he shows up unannounced and joins the Franconia Collective, and he primarily authors a great piece called "Try Gregory Floyd for Murder," well documented. Well, he represented himself as a JAG attorney, but in fact, he's a welder. And his custodial child told me that. And it's one of those miracles. The guy actually lives near me here in Southie. So when I outed him, he started calling me frantically and all that. And anyway, he's a weird guy. That's Bill Christie. Ah, yes. And speaking of internet jerks, there's Jimmy Wales and his disingenuous crew over there at Wikipedia. What's their program? Well, essentially, they found a way to eliminate any references to the litigation I have against Kelly Ayotte, the Free Press racial lawsuit, and it's just insane. So I've notified a few people about that. Now on to something substantially, or at least potentially more positive. It seems that Tim and Betty Egan, the owners of Moody Street Pictures, have a substantial contacts in Franconia or Sugar Hill. And Brad Whipple and I are going to make sure to it that the people up there notify them and producer Dorothy Affiero of our concerns relative to some things we're hearing in the media as of late. And I'll get into that at a later time. Thank you.